Just ahead on Virginia Outdoor Life, load up and get set with us for muzzle loading season. Meet a man who's overcome great odds to continue his passion. And come with us to Deltaville, where the fishing and scenery are one of a kind. These stories and more coming up next on Virginia Outdoor Life. Hello, friends, and welcome to Virginia Outdoor Life. Once again, my name is Jim Hale on this Saturday, October 28th, and standing by once again,
the captain, Eric Burnley. Welcome aboard, everybody.
Well, glad to have you here, Captain. You know, we've been saying it every week, and I think, although we say it all the time, I think we've outdone ourselves once again here.
We have a great show here, and who better to judge how great it is than us, right?
Yeah, but the reason I say that in all sincerity is that this first story we've got coming up here is really something special, and it's really something special for you, too.
Yes, it is. This gentleman has been a friend of mine for a couple of years, and I was really happy to be able to get out with Marty Martinez and his daughter and do a little speckled trout fishing.
I think what I said, he was one of those I just
15 years ago, I suffered a motorcycle accident and had a drunk driver run me over when I was going to work one afternoon. I'm very fortunate. There's people worse off than me. There's even people with two good legs that are better off than me that don't enjoy the quality of life that one can achieve, and by just enjoying it, always doing it to its fullest. I had 5,000 things that I used to do, and now I got 2,500 that I do real good. So, like I said, my attitude and disposition on life and how I perceive life now is totally different, and how I perceive other people is not the same either. All right, don't make any real heavy noises, okay? Be quiet. Get on up in your chair. Now that I've got a daughter, two daughters, I want to get both of them involved in something that you could say is somewhat beneficial, keeps them out of trouble, and I can spend some good quality time doing. And I can't think of nothing else better to do than fish.
The biggest fish I've ever caught was a catfish.
It was a really impressive catch for her to be pulling out on a little Zebco 3.3 at the time with a Snoopy rod and reel. But she brought it in all by herself. There you go. That's a nice cast. Don't worry about me. Let him go. Let him go. It's a big one. You just keep that line tight. Nice job. Don't let him come near the trolling motor. There you go. Keep him up. There you go. That's a nice fish, hon. Keep your reel. Reel it in a little. Just reel it in a little. Reel it in a little. I can't see him. He's pulling. He's a good one. I can see him from once. He come up twice.
There he is. It's a flounder.
Come here. Come here. Keep it loaded up. Keep him loaded up. There you go. Come here. Now bring him towards me. Dinner. Come here. Nice job, hon. Well, your definition of a bigger fish has just changed. Whatever you're doing, it should be fun, no matter how limited it is or how advanced you are in doing it. Be it a professional angler or doing it as a guide or just recreational and taking your kids.
Wow, what a great story. I tell you what, we're going to have a hard time topping that. Captain, what is it you think about the sport of fishing? He said he could do 5,000 things. Now he has 2,500 things he does well.
Right.
Why is it that fishing is so stirs people's passions so much, you think?
I don't know. It's just something about it that appeals to some people, and of course some of other people it doesn't. But for a family to get together and be able to do something as a family, like he has done with his daughter Heather, or he has another daughter a little younger that's coming along and starting to fish. That's the enjoyment of fishing, is being able to be out there with your family like Marty and Heather, and that's what makes it great.
Well, that story right there certainly epitomizes why we're doing this show right
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Well, it was a busy week last week in the outdoors, and here's a look at some outdoor news for you. The nation's top bass anglers were in Richmond last weekend for the $273,000 Bassmasters Virginia Top 100. They went out on the James River in search of largemouth, and the winner was a Virginian, David Dudley of Lynchburg won his first Bassmasters tournament, collecting $45,000 for the top spot. Other local guys also finished in the money. Rick Morris of Virginia Beach, 25th, good for $3,000. And Woo Daves of Spring Grove, he's a former champion, a big disappointment for him, finishing 64th. Locally this past weekend, they held the Great Shore Rockfish Festival in and around the Lynnhaven Inlet. Thomas Compton caught the top striper, weighing in at 14 pounds 11 ounces. William Fenton took top honors in the speckled trout division with a 3-pound 9-ounce fish. In other news, local sailors hit the waters last weekend trying to raise money for local hospices. The first annual Hospice Regatta of Greater Hampton Roads took place last Saturday at the Hampton Yacht Club. Proceeds from the event go to help 7 southeastern Virginia hospices, which provide care for terminally ill patients and their families. And finally, the Virginia Marine Resources Commission is thinking about using money from the Saltwater Fishing License Fund to buy Cruises Wharf in Deltaville. The asking price, $530,000, but Cruises provides the only public boat ramp in Deltaville, which is a major place in the middle of the bay to drop your boat in. Captain, what do you think about this?
Well, I think they certainly need a launch ramp, a public launch ramp in Deltaville. It's very important for the people up there, the people from this area that fish up there. And all the launch ramps that were there in the past have been bought up and turned private, so the public has no access to them. This is the last ramp. It's easier and cheaper to buy one that's already there than to try to go through all the hassle of trying to build a new one. So it sounds like a good idea up top, but of course they'll have to jump through 10,000 hoops to get the state to come up with the money to spend on buying property. It's a lot of paperwork and a lot of bureaucracy that has to be overcome before this can happen.
Well, this is a democracy. If the people want it, stick that boat ramp out there, and if they don't want it, we'll vote somebody else in and we'll put it in.
Just fell off the turnip truck, huh, Jim? Gee, if it only worked that way, we'd all be happy, I'll tell you.
All right, folks. All right, stick around. We've got a lot more Virginia outdoor life to come. When we come back, we'll take you out to the range and get you set for the muzzle loading season. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Virginia Outdoor Life, friends. My name is Jim Hale, along with
Captain Eric Burnley.
Captain, deer hunters are starting to get that itch this time of year. It's been open a few weeks here locally. It opens statewide November 20th. But before that, just a couple of weeks from now, the muzzle loading black powder season gets underway. And Captain, this is kind of like the bow hunting deal, one shot. One shot
is all you get, so you need to take the time to learn how to use your weapon properly and make that one shot count.
Now, you've tried this before. Did you harvest one?
No, I haven't gotten one with a muzzleloader yet, but the muzzleloader season gives you 2 extra weeks of deer hunting. If you go with your muzzleloader, you get 2 extra weeks that you wouldn't get otherwise. So that's a real good reason to go out and get a muzzleloader and learn how to use it.
Yes, and right smack dab in the middle of the rut, too. So they're going to be moving around out there. Black powder getting more and more popular. If you'd like to learn a little bit, head to Bob's Gun and Tackle in downtown Norfolk with us and test your skills. Tell me about this stuff, Terry.
Okay, the Night Rifle is the brand new modern version that we have. You can actually now use a scope in Virginia, and all over the country actually is going to being able to use scopes for black powder.
What kind of range are we talking about with this?
Oh, you can shoot 150 yards with no problem at all.
No kidding?
Yeah, as long as you can sight it in, you know, you can shoot it.
Is this like what they used in the Civil War?
Real summer, exactly. Except they had Springfields and zoo-offs and different ones.
So let's talk about the modern version, this night gun. And this looks like a pretty simple weapon here.
It is. It's called an inline. You basically load everything the same. Instead of having a hammer, you now have a pull pin, which you pull back.
Right.
Okay, and you actually do have a safety, or this one you don't. Put on a percussion cap, cock it, slam it, bring it up. You got your powder. Measure up 80 grains.
Okay, let me take these things off for now.
Yeah.
Okay, just like Davy Crockett, huh?
Yep, except you don't have the horn. There you go. Oh, that's all right. There you go. Okay.
Just pour it in?
Just pour it in.
Okay.
Now you take your sabot and your slug and put it right in the top.
All right.
And take your ball starter and start it down. Just push. It takes a little bit to get it.
Oh. Boy, you got to make your shot count.
Okay, now pull out your ramrod and shove it down. I mean, you're gonna need to take some force.
Okay.
Yep, straight down.
Is that
You feel it
bottomed out right there?
That's bottomed out.
Okay.
Okay. Now put your ramrod back in. The other way, boss.
Okay.
Throw the cap in. Put the cap on. Okay, your cap's on. Okay, so just take your safe off. Go ahead and put your glasses on because you're gonna need that.
Woo! That sucker kicks like a donkey, man. All right, Terry.
No
Thanks,
problem.
bud.
Anytime.
Yeah, that's something that you got to be prepared for. You got to have that rifle cocked up against your shoulder pretty tight, or that's what's going to happen. My shoulder is still sore. The black powder season runs from November 6th through the 18th everywhere except Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, and Suffolk, east of the Dismal Swamp. Captain, you know, if I'd have been a soldier back in the Army of Northern Virginia, I wouldn't have lasted too long out there. It takes a while to do that.
After the first shot, I'm done with that gun. I'm out of here.
You bet. All right, folks, now time to show off some more of those pictures that are really rolling in now. Thanks for sending them in. These are your pictures sent in by you. We put them in the outdoor scrapbook every week, then open it up to give you a look. First up, Otis Ricks of Virginia Beach. Otis is showing off his citation-sized tautog caught at the Chesapeake Bay Light Tower last December.
This giant bluefin tuna set a new Virginia state record, and that's Sean Thomas showing off his 344-pound catch. He brought it aboard the Pursuer out of Rudy Inlet last June.
Next up, Dennis Sayer from Virginia Beach. He's got an 8-point and a 10-point buck, both bagged on a hunting trip to Ohio last winter.
John Shell of Virginia Beach is holding up a nice-sized carp. He caught the 30-pound fish on 6-pound test in Lake Trent this past August.
And finally, check this baby out. This gentleman's name is Wheezy from Virginia Beach, sporting a 42-pound catfish. Hello, welcome back to Virginia Outdoor Life. You know, there must be a million beautiful spots throughout this region where the scenery is surpassed only by the fishing, Captain.
And one such place is about halfway up the bay, a little town called Deltaville. Heading out of Cruz's Wharf, we ran up the river to the Rappahannock River Bridge, where some recent construction has put a lot of rubble on the bottom, attracting striped bass. Today we're fishing aboard the Bay Lady with Captain Ruark. Along with us as our sort of guide is Captain Gilly and also Howard Cruz, proprietor and owner of Cruz's Wharf. Fishing the Rappahannock River Bridge, you need to use a bucktail on a long leader of about 30 feet behind a three-way swivel and about 12 to 16 ounces of lead to hold bottom. This is all connected to a wire line rig and is worked just above the rubble down there, sometimes just above it and sometimes right inside of it, and you get hung up and you have to break off, but that's all part of fishing around the Rappahannock River Bridge. It was not the greatest day out for striped bass, a little early in the season for them yet, but once the water cools down, why these fish will show up, and if you use this technique, you should be able to catch your limit.
That was a hit or what?
Deltaville usually treats its fishermen a little bit better than it did for us today, but even when you don't catch any fish, the beauty of the area and the enjoyment of being with good friends can make the trip seem worthwhile. It's a bit of a hike, but it's worth the trip. Take Route 64 up to 17 to Saluda, and then 33 East will take you right into Deltaville.
Captain, tell me, you didn't get much action that day. When do you think the rockfish are going to make it?
The water temperature's got to drop. I also get fishing reports from Maryland, and they're still in the Middle Bay area of Maryland, so we need to get some cooler water to move them on down the bay, probably in the next couple of weeks. Thanksgiving week could be a real good week up there.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Virginia Outdoor Life. Time now for the Hot Products segment of the show, where we introduce you to something that's going to be making outdoors a little bit nicer, and certainly this week applies because our hot product isn't really a product, it's more of a service. Sussex Shooting Sports in Waverly has quail and pheasant hunting, sporting clay shooting, as I discovered a few weeks ago. It's an awesome place. And this week they've been kind enough to give away a free guided quail and pheasant hunt. This is an outstanding game preserve, folks. Some of the best quail hunting in the state. And there's the phone number you see right there. Give Bob Hall a call and he'll fix you up big time even if you don't win. But right now, it's time to pick a winner. And we've got our crab pot back here. And Captain, why don't you stick...
I don't want to pick a winner. I I want to be the winner.
Yeah, folks, thanks for sending them in, by the way. We need to
it's a picture of my ex-mother-in-law.
How about that? No, don't. She's kind of cute.
Well,
okay.
Your taste different than mine, but hey,
right.
It's a free country.
Okay, the winner is from Virginia Beach, Captain, the drum roll. It is Dave Ray, or is it Dane? Dane Ray of Virginia Beach, Meadow Lake Road. You have got one awesome trip in front of you. I guarantee you. If
you need somebody to go with you, give me a call. I'll be happy to accompany you on that trip.
Yeah, and you know, the really cool thing about going up to Sussex Shooting Sports is you don't have to be a shotgunner. You can go up there without any knowledge. Yeah. These are the most hospitable people in the world. Bob Hall will take you out there.
Great guys, guys. Beautiful facility. It's a wonderful trip. I hope, this is several $100s worth of hunting trip.
And we also want to see your pictures of your game, your fish, your deer, whatever you got out there, and send them in. Self-addressed stamped envelope. We'll get them back to you.
Right. And this week coming up, I think we're going to have some pretty good fishing if Dr. Dwayne will give us some good weather. It's going to depend on how good the weather is, but I really believe that we're going to have some good fishing. Striped bass around the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, James River Bridge should be very good. Lots of bluefish still around the lower bay, so you can go out and catch yourself some small bluefish. Tautog fishing is getting good on the wrecks along with some sea bass, and there's always a possibility of some nice flounder out in the deeper water. For those of you like small boat fishing, work inside of Rudy or Lynnhaven Inlet for speckled trout. It's going to be a good week if we get good weather.
And we saw, how about Heather's flounder? Was that awesome?
I'm telling you, what a great catch, what a great family, what a great young lady, I'm telling you. Just fantastic is the only word I can describe.
Folks, we'll see you out there in the great outdoors. All right. That was good, Captain. Cool.
Yeah, it worked out.
It did. Sure enough, did. We just stick that. Yeah, we make sure he gets that. Now I liked your line.